Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Two Guys, Two Beers podcast. I'm your host today, Phantom. I'm with my co-host today,
Max Q.
Hi, Max. How are you doing today? How do you like Savannah?
Fucking rainy. This hurricane shit is just getting ridiculous.
Well, the funny part is, at least you not in Honduras, and you figure out that pretty much like the news have lied to us, and it hit Honduras a lot worse than what they saying.
Oh yeah, he showed me a video of cows floating down a river, and I'm not just talking like one or two. There's probably like 100 cows that this person that he knows recorded, and you could just see him floating down the river, and there was nothing this person could do. So don't be like, oh my god, they just let cows float down the river. It's not like that. I mean, like the river banks are so high, and the cows were going so fast.
And then the worst part, since the river banks are high, like little kids are trying to cross, but the river are too strong. So now like my friend, they stay in Honduras, so they sent me videos of literally people picking out kids out the water to like pretty much found an 8-year-old and his little brother that's a month years old like dead, and you see other people dead trying to cross the riverbank. Then you see how like people are standing on top of their houses.
And it wasn't just like people, like it was like a legit roof just covered with people.
Just to show how strong their roof is, it was like over 50 of them.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, damn, we need to get their builders up here. Shit. Like, I mean, you could be lucky if a hurricane, or if your house even lasts through a fucking Category 1 hurricane here.
I mean, but most of the houses built with bricks, so that's why I think it lasts for so long.
Dude, it looked like they were just sitting on top of like a fucking pole barn. I mean, like not like made out of legit like logs. And I was like, damn, like if that shit's that strong, like just imagine how their houses are.
I mean, whatever it is, it was strong enough to. I've seen at least 50 people in that photo. Plus, like one photo, I seen a house was completely like. Everything below the attic was submerged, and then the only thing that was above the water was the roof.
Damn. That's what I'm saying. Like, shit, most of our houses, they can't even make it through a fucking 2-foot flood without moving.
I feel sorry for the people that, like, their whole foundation move when a flood happens.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's crazy how, like, legit these places are staying in place with water that's, like, 10 feet high. And like I said, legit houses will move in the U.S. over like 2 or 3 feet of water. And like, that's crazy, the difference in building quality, especially considering it's coming from an area that doesn't have as much money as us by any means.
Yeah, you're completely right about that. And I think it's crazy, like, I don't know, the way the news are saying it, they make it seem like it didn't hit them as bad as they did, but pretty much my friend was telling me how she may move from Honduras to another country because pretty much it's going to take a while for them to fix the whole country back up.
I mean, I can imagine. I mean, I seen that river. That riverbank was probably easy 200 feet wide.
Yeah.
I mean, from all the rain, and that's not supposed to be that big.
And I'm just, like, that's messed up their food and everything, because just like how you seen them cows pretty much went swimming.
Well, I mean, you got to think too. That person that had those cows, that's probably their livelihood, especially in a country like that. I mean, I'm not saying that they're dirt poor, but I mean, they're not like a super wealthy country. So, that's pretty much somebody's livelihood, and it probably took them, not just like their generation, but like their grandparents that bought and started it. They probably don't have the money to rebuy all those cows.
Yeah,
they don't have insurance like we do to replace them.
I didn't even think about that, I was thinking about the people who like grow farm like the corn and the farmlands. They pretty much just flood us, pretty much wreck their whole ecosystem.
But yeah, I mean that's another fair point too. I mean you got to think because a lot of crops can't withstand a lot of that over rain because it'll actually kill the crop by drowning it.
I was just saying like a lot of crops will come out the ground because how strong the river was. Like if the river was going that fast, that goes. I learned this from thing. Most rivers come from like people, like pretty much rivers are connected from like access points from water falling down to go to this point to clear out the land. So if the river was that heavy, that goes it's too much water coming to the river, so it's gonna be a lot more floods on inlands. If that makes sense to people.
Yeah, and you got to remember, especially pretty much even in the U.S. that's still true, but most places, everything's built around water. That's our livelihood. That's how we make stuff. That's how we get water to our crops. So all farms and pretty much everything are generally built around a creek, a river, or, you know, a big lake or something like that.
Yeah, and just to think about what they had a pig farm, and the pig farm, you know, a lot of people really don't clean the pig farms like they should have, and pretty much now the pig farm, pretty much all that sewage and stuff went with the water, so now it probably polluted the water there too.
Yeah, most of it would just sweep right out to the ocean. I mean, unless they have some like really bad stuff that they do, I wouldn't imagine that it would be too environmentally impacting.
Well, I'm talking about polluting water, like, you know, like I don't. A lot of people over there, they were explaining to me, don't get like they sewer system and stuff. They don't get water. They have to collect water. So with all this water that's coming in, it's probably fucked up. Like if you flood and they collect water through barrels.
Oh, like through their downspouts and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, a lot of people do it.
Well, we the only country that's not allowed to collect water. I don't know why.
That would be because we're America.
Good old America.
Yep, good old America. No, I really don't understand that either. That makes no sense. Like, if we have a way to consume free water, why can't we? But no, because there's a public water supply. You have to pay for your water, even though it's worse for you.
I mean, that's the whole dumb part. Well, I guess it's stupid because technically, I don't know, I would just build a well and let it collect water.
In most places, you actually, even if you don't use the electric, you still have to have electric hooked to your house.
Oh, yeah. Because that's what one problem with one of the people in Florida was having. They had built the, like, they converted their whole electric to, well, that's not really a good case. But one house I remember, they had converted their whole thing to the Tesla power banks.
Yeah.
But so they figured out the Tesla power bank's not as strong as what they thought it would be. So they had to put like 2 in there. And then literally like during the day, like pretty much the power banks only work during the day. At night, when there's no sun coming in, they didn't work at all. But there was one person in Georgia, because I went to his farm one day, because I used to walk, guys, when I was skinny. And then I used to, like, one time he was like, hey, why you always walk? And I was like, I don't know, just to lose weight, I guess, stay in shape. And then I seen him with solar panels, so I was like, asked him about his solar panels, and he was like, yeah, sometimes I sell the electricity back to the electric company, but sometimes I still get a bill for $5 a month. I'm like, what? That don't make sense.
Yeah, because unless he has power banks, it wouldn't hold up. I mean, say for instance, like, yeah, the power wall that Tesla makes is actually great, but in the same time, it is pretty much useless because, for instance, like a normal 2,000 square foot house,
yeah,
is going to require you to have at least 4 power banks. So you're going to have 4 separate wall batteries.
Yeah.
In order to do your house, and that's only to last 2 days.
Well, they had 2, and they pretty much said during the day they pretty much could run off the power banks at night, pretty much. And they didn't have a big house. I think they only had like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and literally like they did the whole shingles on top of the roof, converted to the solar panels and all that, and they had to get 2 to like power their whole house.
Damn. That's why wind energy is usually a lot more efficient, but
I mean, some places like Georgia don't have wind like that.
I mean, it's not even just that. A lot of places won't allow you. I mean, I have a cabin out in New York. I should say my family has a cabin out in New York, and we wanted to put in.
Hold on. We're gonna stop. This is the millionaire stories of Max Q. Time activate.
All right, I know. So we have a cabin out on the top of a mountain. And, I mean, we have a couple neighbors, but not really many. And we're probably 15 miles from the closest city, if even that. And whenever I say city, I'm talking like maybe 1,000 people city. And we asked the county that it's in, and they were like, no, you can't put in that. Or I was like, why can't we put in a windmill? And they were like, well, the noise might pollute. And I was like,
I never heard of noise pollution.
What? I was like, we're not talking about putting in like one of those huge ones you see sitting alongside the highway. I'm talking about one to power a house. It stands about 100 feet tall, and they claim it won't produce any noise over about half a mile, which we owned to begin with. And this is in the middle of nowhere. This is a town that literally consisted of, I want to say, maybe 150 people, and the township wouldn't allow it, or the county.
Oh, wow. Well, they know if, let's say if your family see and do that, most families would start doing it, and then their whole town power would go down the drain.
Oh, no, that doesn't affect them. I mean, that's what I don't get. Like, I mean, I get the water and the sewer. That makes sense. But the power isn't supplied by the government. The power is supplied by private entities.
I mean, you see on my Georgia power bill where I'm paying nuclear waste and some other taxes that I don't even know about. That's stupid. They added like another $20 to my bill.
Yeah, I know. I looked. I was just like, what the fuck? Because I was the one that started pointing them out, and you were just like, wait, what? And you were like, why does this say I have to pay nuclear? I was like, I don't even think we have nuclear power plants around here.
I mean, that's the stupid part about the power. But we also, since the hurricane hit Cuba, like, this is a very strong hurricane. People don't understand. It was Category 4 when it hit Honduras, Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Then it went to Cuba, and now it's hitting Florida.
Yeah, and so basically it swung up, hit Miami-Dade, and now it's swinging out into the middle of the ocean, and then it's literally going to make a hard right and swing up towards the Panhandle and string straight across Georgia is what they're predicting, but they don't know. It could actually swing back around and head back towards Honduras. There's actually one track I've seen that's like that, one of the models. I was like, oh, hell no.
I just feel sad if it do that. But I seen one model, like pretty much it's going to go in the Gulf of Mexico, get back to a Category 2 hurricane, and then hit Louisiana / Mississippi and Texas.
That's what I'm saying. Like, hey, but they were predicting it to go from a tropical storm that it was to a Category 1, possibly a Category 2 or higher, and then actually hit all over again. So it went from a hurricane to a tropical storm, and now it's going back to a hurricane.
My theory is this is a man-made thing, but, you know, I can't prove it. Also, that person that got injured in Florida from driving in the canal.
Yeah. We were talking about this yesterday, and we were...
I didn't know you could really drive in a canal, and then you explained to me, like...
Yeah, so basically my theory is that the guy tried to drive through a flooded street, and he thought he was still on the street, not knowing that there was a canal, and just drove from what he thought was the street straight into the canal, and now he's currently in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. And
I never knew you could drive in a canal.
I mean, you can't technically, but again, if the roads are flooded and you don't know, but like I was explaining to him yesterday, the thing that most people got to understand is that most places in Florida, especially close to the ocean or even close to a major river, they build canals next to all of the houses. Yeah. So that way, if you want to bring your boat, you can bring your boat, and you can park it next to your house. You can build you a little dock on that canal, or just tie it up off to the side, and that's why they do it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So you can take your boat straight into a river or straight back into the ocean. Like, say, for instance, in like Miami, a lot of the canals lead straight back into the ocean. So you can take it straight through the inlet, and you can go straight from your house without having to drive your boat down through Miami and shit like that.
I mean, that's actually kind of smart, because then you don't have to deal with you seeing the traffic to Tybee Island sometimes. All the people driving a boat that don't know how to drive a boat.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't. It's kind of, don't a canal work for flooding, where most of the water go to a canal?
In Florida, probably not. I'm going to assume that probably make it worse, actually.
Well, I was just asking because I was just losing common sense. Like, if it's an overflow of water, what do water do? Go to, like, the nearest place to, like...
I mean, yeah, to a degree. I guess it depends on how they graded it. But if the houses sit about even, or even... Because, you know, a normal tidal surge, or, you know, the heights of the water and stuff going in and out...
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that can usually go up or down by, like, 5 feet. That is normal, from what I've seen, at least around here, anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my guess would be probably not. Because, I mean, you figure most houses sit maybe a foot or two higher than the actual canal.
So, pretty much the house is going to get a lot of flood.
I mean, if there was a big storm, say, for instance, like, whenever you're in Miami, I'm pretty sure most of those houses probably had water come up to their doorsteps.
Well, I hope people got water flood insurance, because pretty soon y'all will be using it the way these hurricanes keep hitting back to back to back.
Yeah, most people do have to have flood insurance. Unless you own your house outright, you have to have flood insurance for the most part now, unless you can actually prove that you're not in a flood area.
I mean, I feel like most of Florida is underneath the sea level.
I mean, or close. So it would be most of Florida is actually